To do your gift is one thing, but to master them and be compensated for them on a professional level is a whole other thing. Today, we talk to professional actor, playwright, and theater producer Princeton Echols on his journey of mastering the crafts necessary to become a successful actor and writer in the area of stage, film, and screen. I'm Antoine Bean. This is Go Creator Go. Let's do it. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Go Creator Go. I am Antoine Bean, and I cannot tell you how ecstatic I am to have you guys here on the show today. Welcome to episode 4 of our series, Go Creator Go, on podcasting. This is amazing. I am so excited. You guys have been so faithful and listening, and I want to just thank you guys so much for just all of the attention that we've been getting here in such a short amount of time. Like I said, this is episode 4. This episode is called Mastering Your Creativity. And as you heard in the introduction, I am going to introduce you guys to a gentleman that I have so much respect for this dude. I truly love this guy as a brother, and I've only known him for a short amount of time. Probably about 2 years?
About two, a little bit over 2 years.
Yeah, a little bit over 2 years. Man, and they flew by too, man. It's like I feel like
they flew by. And the feeling is mutual, man. I love you too, and I have so much respect for you as well, bro.
Man, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Listen, this guy is a actor, he is a writer, he is a producer, he is a singer. He is a songwriter. The man, there is nothing that God has not put in this brother to accomplish. Like this dude, and he inspires me because he is one of those guys that he is, and I believe this is probably his biggest strength, is that his focus. He's definitely one of those guys that literally will think something, say something, write something, and do something, and he executes it every single time. Hook or by crook. I mean, it's the truth, man. By hook or by crook, he is going to make things happen. And this gentleman's name is Princeton Echols. So give it up for him, man.
God bless.
Bless
Thank you
him.
so much for having me. It's a pleasure. It's literally a pleasure to be here talking to you because I respect you and your gifts and your craft and your calling so much. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Man, it is an honor, man. It is truly an honor to speak to you because, for one thing, he's a very busy man.
Man. During this time, though.
Man, come on.
We're able to be time now. Thank God. We got this reset that's happening, so it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thanks for doing, for creative, period. Thank you for doing this for us.
Wow.
We need more. Yeah.
Well, praise God, man. Praise God. Well, let me just go a little bit through your resume real quick. Just real quick. So, you started in theater. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, you did start in theater, and then you went to commercial work, doing commercial acting.
Yeah, I did.
And
I did.
All that time, you're doing background vocal work for various gospel artists.
Yeah, I was.
And then came back to me, and then you traveled for quite a while. Then you came back to the city. Did your first stage production from scratch.
From scratch, man. Didn't know nothing other than like acting. I knew nothing about production or producing a stage play.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a God thing.
Wow, yeah. Which is incredible, and it's called the Royal Family. It is a really, really great
Thank
production. I love
you.
that show.
God
Um,
bless you.
man,
Yeah.
it is. It is really. We got, and I've been trying to press him about doing a film about that. Like for
Yeah,
real. Like it
yeah.
would make a great movie.
We have to. We're gonna do that. So I
We got
definitely
to,
want
man.
to do
We
that.
got to. And then of course the well, some people would say it's a big break, even though the man is already out there. But uh, he ended up Princeton ended up getting a role behind the scenes as well as on camera for Bluff City Law, NBC's Bluff City Law, which came to
Yeah,
Memphis.
yeah. It was in Memphis.
Wow.
Definitely in. Yeah. It was a pleasure, man. Like to go, yeah, and to speak on like what you said with the story. Yeah, I'm like very, very country boy. Like I'm from Mississippi.
Yeah.
And Memphis is a second home to me because I started acting in Memphis, and that's where I did my first play. And then where I'm from in Mississippi, it's only 30 minutes south of Memphis, so it's kind of like it is neighboring towns or whatever. But started out when I knew I wanted to be an actor at 9 years old. Though I saw some people on television, and I asked my dad, "What do they do?" Because I'm like, that's their life. You know what I mean? I'm sure that they, even when we're not watching them, they're still in those lives. I think I was about 6 or 7 when I realized that. And
Wow.
then like I said, no, they're actors, and I was like, I want to do that. So by 9, I had made my decision. Like this is what I want to do. There's nothing else that I want to do. But when I went and told my teacher at school, and she was asking everyone what they wanted to be when they grow up, and I said I want to be an actor. She told me to be realistic. So she said, be realistic.
Yeah.
She said you could be an accountant, baby, because you're great at math. Like you, like a math, whiz or whatever. So you're gonna be an accountant. So that's gonna be great, and that's what you're gonna do. So that's,
Wow.
I thought that was law. Like at 9 years old, your
Oh
teachers
yeah.
are
Absolutely.
people. They're gonna guide your career with their words. So honestly, like I thought because of what I had or didn't have or where I was from that I was going to I could not become an actor. I could not pursue a career as a creative professionally. And but and I went to like fast forward college days, I got my degree in accounting. Like I have a bachelor's in accounting. And I don't know a lot
Oh
of
wow.
like many of my friends don't even know that. And yeah, I went to Ole Miss. I got a bachelor's in accounting, and then about 2 or 3 years after that, I was just like, P, you gotta either you're gonna try this thing or you're gonna continue to just like rest on it or whatever. And I didn't even know anything about the business until I was 25, and I went to my first acting class, and I did my first play at like I got cast in my first play at like 26, I would say. Yeah,
Wow.
26.
Okay.
And yeah, and then that next month after we ran that play, I was in the play was Grease at Hattie Lou. And that next month
Mm.
after we ran that play, I started praying about moving, like because I went to this event and they said if you're never gonna move unless you get a date. And I said, okay, I'm gonna move next year in August because it was about September in 2013 by now. And then, man, God opened up some things, and I had a job in Atlanta in that next month. So I moved to Atlanta that October. So this
Oh
September,
man. You
yeah, that
gone.
October, I was out of there. So I was in Atlanta and I was working, started from scratch, man, like Googling acting classes in my hotel. Like literally just went out there and was like, all right, come out here and do it. If you're going to do it, do it. So
Right. Right.
networking, made some good friends, made some good connections, man. I was in Atlanta until about 2016. So God gave me a vision of stage play. That's when I came back. And well, I went to church one Sunday and the preacher preached about operating your gifts. And he said, people will suffer if you don't operate in your gift.
Look at
If I
God.
think I went to that sermon on that day, I would have never left my job. I would still be at my job to
Jesus.
this day
Jesus.
because I thought it was all about me. And I thought that me leaving my job was going to be beneficial for me. And I'm the type of person, if it's just for me, that is not enough, which was completely like, it wasn't just for me. And then when I went to church one Sunday, he said, people will suffer if you don't operate in your gift. Then it became no longer just about me, but it's about like what I would be holding back other people from their destiny just by me not operating in what God called me to do. So I quit my job on that Tuesday after that Sunday of hearing that sermon. It was May 24th. Yeah. So that Sunday,
Wow.
anybody could check it. I remember it was May 24th, 2016, Tuesday. So that Sunday must have been the 22nd. It was 2016. So I was yeah, man. So I left my job, packed my apartment up, and came back home and rehearsed that show. And I booked the building without a script, without a cast, without nothing.
My
So
God.
Yeah, and I put out a flyer. I said, I know if I put out a flyer, I got to do it.
Yeah.
So I put out a flyer at the end of June, and we had to play at the beginning of August, and I was planning on moving back to Atlanta in September because I was like, I'm gonna do what God told me to do, but I'm gonna come back and do what I got planned. You know what I mean? So,
Amazing, man. That is
man,
amazing. Like, and that's what I mean.
yeah,
That's that focus that I'm talking about. Like you literally, and you got the word, you visualized
yeah,
it, you wrote it
and
down, and you said, I'm going with this. I'm doing this.
I too, man. It was the scariest summer of my life, bro. Literally
Man.
scary. But I felt God tell me if I didn't do that, I was gonna be miserable for the rest of my life. Like
Wow.
not just unhappy. Like it was distinctly. I heard a distinct voice say miserable. And it was like heavy. You know what I mean? So I was like, nah, I don't want to. I'd rather be obedient and it be hard and I'd be scared and we just flop rather than not be disobedient
Right.
and I have a safe paying job and I have to sit up here and our arms are too short to box with God, so we know it ain't going. We can't do that.
Right.
You know.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, and we say all the time on the show, delayed obedience is disobedience.
Yes, man. Yes.
It is, man. If you
Yes,
don't
bro.
walk in that thing and believe it, like you might as well just not do it at all. Like it's just, you might as well just literally say, Lord, I ain't doing it. You just
You
might.
might have said, Lord, I ain't doing it. And go do it full out. I had so many people tell me, they said, don't do your first play full out. Like, get you some tables and some chairs at your set. Don't go and pay that much. Don't get no host actors. Let them have their scripts in their hands. Do a reading. They said you're gonna have to do like 7 plays before somebody likes one anyway.
Wow.
That's what they said. Do not go way out with that. You need to do this and that and that and this. And I was like, I'm so happy I didn't listen to those people. I'm
Okay.
so happy. I'm so
Because
happy.
I was there I actually was there. I filmed the royal family. That
Yeah.
place was crowded. It was standing room only in there.
Yeah, it was crowded. It was a great, like, it was a blessing. It was a blessing.
Yeah,
That I,
like it was packed in there. Like no
Mhm.
way. If
Like the weekend that we opened, that we did the first run, we sold out that whole weekend. Like the weekend that like that August of 2016 when we did our first run, we sold out that whole weekend. And then from
my
then on,
God.
wondering like, and I thought that we sold out because okay, it's my family, it's my
Right,
friends,
right.
they come to, even if I got on the stage and screamed the royal family, you know how people gonna want to support you, especially if you're a first one.
Yeah.
But then I realized like strangers were coming up and saying it was the best play they've seen and like how they were so encouraged by it. And then friends were telling me that because they saw this play, their dad changed their mind on them pursuing their dreams. And it was just like things like that. And I was like, wait a minute, like these strangers don't owe me anything to gas me up. So
Listen.
we may have something, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, God be knowing what he be doing.
Yes.
We don't always know what he's doing and we don't have to know. That's why we ask him for guidance and not understanding.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. Come on. So with that said, because I know you. So you are a very spiritual brother, man. You put
Oh,
God
yeah.
first in everything you do. And that's one of
Yeah.
the things I love so much about you. Who are your inspirations in the industry, in the business, that made
And
you, that who you look at to say, you know what, I see how they do it, but I'm going to do it on this end. But I will pull from this person or this style in certain areas, and then just kind of put my own spin on it.
oh my gosh, Tyler Perry, man.
Yeah. Oh,
I
sure,
love
sure.
it, obviously. Because and I think that the work I do, people can see the inspiration in it. Because even though my work is not like his, it's in the same tone.
It
Like
is
I do
different. Yeah.
yeah, it's different, but it's urban contemporary theater. So I tell our story, especially from a southern perspective.
Right.
So as of right now, I do. And I will always do it, but I probably add some. I know I'll add some versatility to it in the future as well. But I just think that for him to forge his way in the industry, and for him to still own his work, and for him to like create opportunities for people of color, especially to be paid what they're worth, to be able to say like it is possible for a person to sweep the nation with our stories, and it's possible for someone to open up their own studio that other
Absolutely.
people can do that, and it's possible for people to um, do great work and then pay people what they're worth. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
treat people right.
Oh,
I just love,
absolutely.
and I'm so inspired by Tyler Perry, and then he's a God fan man, so I
Yes.
love that. And
Yes.
then if I had to say, so I love Tyler Perry. And people around me know I literally have to argue and defend every day. Men, and it's all in fun because I think we need space to have healthy conflict with different stances that people may have in regards to perspective and stuff. But another person would be, I would say Tyler Perry definitely. Curtis King, he has a theater in Atlanta. I mean,
Yeah.
not Atlanta, in Dallas,
In
Texas.
Dallas. Yeah.
Black Academy of Arts and Letters, and he does incredible work. He does incredible community stuff, and he's brilliant. He's one of those people that you know how you have those hidden gems that everybody in the industry knows him,
Yep.
but we may know him. But like he is literally one of the most brilliant writers, directors, producers ever. He don't play either. I've sat in on one of his camps. That's where I went and got some of my training before I did my first, like that same summer I interned at his camp. So,
Wow.
and
Okay.
yeah, I did, man. I'm sorry I left it out. So that summer when I left and when I put my stuff in my U-Haul, I came and brought it to Coldwater, Mississippi. Then I put it in the storage in Atlanta and I brought the rest of my stuff to Coldwater, Mississippi. Then I went from Coldwater to Dallas and I was there for 3 weeks because I did this camp out there. Then I came back home and then next week we started rehearsing for the Royal family. And that was out there in
Wow.
Curtis. Yeah, and where I got inspiration as the format of how we do the camp, to the format of how he does his camp. And then I would say Prentice Penny, man. Prentice Penny is showrunner and producer for HBO's Insecure, and he was also the writer and director of the film Uncorked that I acted in that was on Netflix.
Yes.
And he is just Prentice has this aura about him and this energy that's just very, very genuine and very, very welcoming to someone who may not know all the ins and outs of the industry. Like
Wow.
he to work on the set. That was my first big role, like co-starring role or whatever on a industry level. You know what I mean?
Right.
Bigger than like a player role or whatever.
Right.
And then like he or guest star, I think it's supportive, whatever it was. It was a role. And then like he had people like Niecy Nash, Courtney B. Vance, and Mamadou Arcee, and Kelly Jeanette and Sasha Comfrey and Bernard, and everybody that was on set. Like they were seasoned, but he still made us like everybody feel welcome at any level that they were at. So I think that like there is something special about people that can do that, and then for him to be so talented to where Insecure is going into his 5th season. Unquote was #1 movie on Netflix, and that dude has so much like it just like it seems like his success has not taken him to a place to where he's not reachable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So those are some people that I'm very, very, very much so inspired by when it comes to like producing work and quality work. And man, I love Ryan Murphy. Like
Oh
Ryan
yeah.
Murphy, he's and
Yeah.
of course, and his productions are incredible. And I love like Shonda Rhimes, and I love Sarah Finley Johnson. She was a showrunner and creator of like Moesha and
Yes.
the
Mm-hmm.
Packers. And yeah,
Right.
I just love when people do like quality work. And yeah, man. So I just pull from all of them and then like still keep my individuality and like what I write and how I navigate. And yeah, man, just study that craft and never compromise the integrity of that craft or the brand.
Wow.
Don't.
Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha.
No.
That's good,
Yeah.
man. And that leads me into, and we're going to talk about this when we get back, but this leads me
Okay.
into how you stay creatively sharp. Because one thing I saw I heard rather through what you were saying, especially with your transition from Atlanta back to Memphis, how the first thing you did immediately was, I got to get some education in this. I got to get some knowledge in this and information. I need some direction on this.
Yeah.
And you went to Dallas and you did the camp there, and then you started watching the people that you admire, you watched their work and really dissected what they were doing, and it kept you sharp, man. I want to talk to you about that and how because you are, and people might not know this, but you are also an instructor and a coach for people.
Oh,
and
thank you.
yeah, man.
I don't even realize it in a way, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. And how, you actually have methods of your teaching and methods of your instruction of how you help up in aspiring actors. and artists come into this thing and how they should approach it. We're going to talk about that when we get back. We're going to take a break real quick, and then when we come back, we're going to talk more with the man himself, Mr. Princeton Echols. Stay with us. Go Creator Go. All right. All right. So we are back with the artisan himself, Mr. Princeton Echols. And you were talking about, before the break, you were talking about sharpening your craft, sharpening your gifts, keeping current with everything that you decided to do. Even before you put pen to paper, you immediately sought information and knowledge of how to make yourself better in this industry, in the direction that you were going in. You had a plan of what you wanted to do, an idea of how you wanted to do it, but you needed to talk to other creative professionals in the area so you can get the knowledge of what you needed to do. What would you say for an inspiring creative, like, you know, because like I said, you before the break, you are a coach as well, and you teach and you give information. You do workshops on this, and we'll talk about, you know, how they can find those later on.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? You know, for what does that look like to an aspiring creative to maintain their creative edge in this industry?
Yeah, to maintain the creative edge, and I just say, like, I don't think you could ever not be a student and be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I just think they don't go hand in hand.
Right.
And I've adhered to, like, always getting comfortable with the uncomfortable, being okay with the growing pains. Don't be okay with the regressive pains, but be okay with the pains that come with growing, like with the people that's supposed to separate from you because you're going to grow, or the uncomfort of getting deadlines done because you know in the actual business you're going to be on deadlines. Growing, you know, uncomfortable with learning monologues, learning accents, learning like the how to break down scripts, what the character arc is, what the, you know, all that. Like, I think that is where it really is, like, and not getting, like, thinking that there are shortcuts to this industry. So, like, I think that the importance of just that student mentality, and then not compromise the integrity of the craft. Like, not showing up showing up unprepared is unacceptable. No matter if you're in a play to where they're paying you $1,000 a day, or it's free for the next 6 months.
Wow.
If you agree to do it, show up on time.
Right.
Have yourself prepared. Be dressed appropriately. Don't be on your phone in rehearsals. Don't engage in drama and mess and create toxic environments. I think that those are the things that, like, really, really set apart the extraordinary from people that just want to do it for cliche reasons of being famous or whatever. We're doing this series called The Cooler, and the 2 nights ago we had Mel Jones, who's director. Like, first thing she directed was Sundance, and she directed Curve, the pilot that was written by Sky Blair. But one of the things she said is a lot of people want to be famous, but she's like, they don't need to do this to be famous. It's way easier ways. They say go run your car into the river. That'll get you famous.
Right.
You know, if you just want to be famous.
Right.
Which is true. Or, like, go and do something ignorant. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that'll get you famous alone. But to be in this industry, I think it speaks volume to be a student to the craft and understand what I do, Antoine, and I know a lot of people may not, like, do it, but what I hold as one of the things is like that I can put credit to got me wherever I've gotten, even though I want to go further. But I thank God for what I've done. It's really treating people right. Like
That's
treating
right.
people right gets people farther than they think it does.
Come
You
on.
know, just being kind to people, and not doing things. You know what I'm saying? And like not in an egotistical way or like a prideful or arrogant way either. Just like not doing them right to get this done. You know what I'm saying? Or not doing them right because they can get me here. Because a lot of people do that too.
Yes.
But doing the PA right on set, or if you pass a janitor in the hallway or whatever, doing them right too, or the servers at restaurants, treating them right.
That's
I
right.
think that's so important to do that.
It
And then,
speaks
like I think
volumes. It really
it does.
does.
So I would say that, man. I think that's the thing that keeps people on track. I think, well, me personally, in my experience.
Well, that plays very true to your reputation as well, because when people, I actually talk about you a lot in
Thank
the circles of entertainment in the Memphis area. Your name
Thank you.
comes up quite a bit, and the first thing that people always say, and this is no smoke, the first thing that people always say about you when your name comes up is like, man, that guy's a great guy. That guy's a nice guy. He's nice.
Oh,
That's the first thing they always say. Oh man, he's a sweetheart. He's a nice guy, you know. And it's the first thing you always hear when people bring your name up.
that means a lot to me. That means a lot. I guess the whippings work, huh?
Yeah. Well, you know, the Bible talks about a good name is worth more than refined gold, you know.
Oh wow, let me write that down.
Yeah. It is, you know, it talks about that, you know, that a good name is worth more than refined gold. So yeah, that is definitely something for real. But that having a good name also landed you a good gig too. Tell me about the Bluff City Law thing with NBC.
City Law, honestly, out of nowhere, smack dab, like it's like God just it's like you going down the street and God just stands in front of the car out of nowhere. Like, nope, you're going this way. So that's how I felt, because
Yeah.
I was planning for this camp, right? And we were in between other we had just finished the production. I was planning for a camp in a murder mystery. And I was like, okay, cool, we're doing this camp. Got some stuff planned for the whole spring. I had meetings lined up in the spring. Then I was like, okay, cool. Then all of a sudden I get a phone call, and I'm like, they were like, what's up, Princeton? It was one of my good friends, Kevin Ivey. Amazing person through and through. Love Kevin. So he called me. He was like, Princeton, so we're working on this pilot, NBC pilot, and we're looking for someone to be the number one, the main character's personal assistant. And I was like, okay. And he was like, and we thought he wanted to be, he said, and the manager wanted to be an actor because it's somebody that he can run lines with. And I was like, okay,
Wow.
all right. And he was like, and it's Jimmy Smith. I said, who? And he said, Jimmy Smith. I said, nah, I know that name. I know that name. And I looked him up. And I was like, wait a minute, he wants person. He was like, yeah, we want you to take the job. He's like, it pays this, it does this. And I was like, man, Kevin, I want to take this job. But I was still on the verge of like, I have to make sure that I'm there for my team whenever we do a production, whenever we do anything.
That is crazy.
But I had just prayed 2 weeks prior, God, please expand the business.
Look at
do
God.
whatever you do to expand it. But I was like, but you know how when he answers prayer, sometimes you're like, no, don't do it like that. Though. You can't tell how to answer. That's how I was. So I was like, okay, Kevin, I won't be able to do it because so-and-so. Man, Kevin said, He said, okay, I'll call you back tomorrow because I'll take a slow yes rather than a quick no. Click.
Wow.
So I said, wait, let me pray about it. So I prayed about it. Blah blah blah. I went back into the meeting. We were literally in a meeting about the camp. I went back into that meeting. They said, if you don't take that job, you're crazy.
Right.
They said, you take that job, we got the camp. Don't worry about that. We can handle it by ourselves. I said, no, them kids don't, and this is just a pilot. So man, I prayed about it, and I felt God just say, like, take the job. I put the job in. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So after I did that, man, that job literally shifted the scope of my life. Like literally.
Yeah.
When I met Jimmy was one. So I spent 7 months with Jimmy last year. Like 7 months
Sure
of
did.
a whole
I remember that. Yeah.
including pilot. I was able to see like how the main character of a show, seasoned actor, been doing it longer than for a while,
Oh yeah.
and I got a chance to see his process, how he interacts with people, what questions he asks the showrunner or and this is like an NBC show, so it's a bigger budget.
Yeah.
So I was able to just learn so much. I was a sponge, man, and the amount of stuff that I learned, it cannot compare to anything. It was just like it was just crazy the amount of stuff that Jimmy taught me during that time that he didn't try to. Like he would empty his own garbage out of his trailer. He would hang up his own clothes. It didn't matter if he had like a down day. If somebody stopped him and wanted to take a picture, he would still do it with such grace and such dignity.
Oh, he's
and
a
he was,
sweetheart of a guy.
oh my
Awesome
God,
guy.
he's amazing through and through. So I did that, and I was able to network with a lot of great people and learn the business and learn the concept. And yeah, and then like when it came like where I was in, so I was in every table read except the pilot. So in episode 2, the AD asked me to come to the table read to read for some characters that weren't in town. So that was my first table read.
What?
Like,
That is awesome.
bro, when I tell you I was nervous, I couldn't even pick up my glass of water because it was shaking. I was so nervous because I was like, these are the executives. This is the first table read of this. Like after it got picked up, this is the first table read of the season. So it was like, I don't even know what's going to happen.
Man.
But so when I said my lines, they started laughing and like they were like engaged. They was like, okay, I didn't know you were an actor. It was like, and Jimmy was like, I told y'all he was or whatever. But then Jimmy was like, just he just gave us some advice on what to do and how to navigate whatever. And it was of course honest and very very much so advice and integrity. And then I auditioned for a part in like episode 7, I think, and then that part it was a smaller role, and then but I was like I would have been happy to play a fly on the wall, literally.
Right.
I was on the wall, like on top of the wall. And then like I didn't get that part, and then I auditioned for the part in episode 10, and it was a bigger role, so they had to. It wasn't a decision that could be made in Memphis. They had to send it all the way up to the head of television because it was a co-starring role. So they had to send it up there and then bring it all the way back down to the writer's room, down to the showrunner, to the director, and all that. And then that's when they gave me the yes that I got it.
Wow.
And crazy thing is I got that role, and I was working with Jimmy, and I booked the BET Curse pilot in the same week, literally.
My God.
But bro, let me tell you how that happened. Let me tell you how that happened. And I don't, and I just put God at the forefront of my entire career.
Yes,
and
sir.
I always will.
Yes, sir.
But this is what happened. I was like, it was someone that I had not talked to in like a year, because I felt as though they had did like something to me, which was right. I had a reason. I had a good reason or whatever.
Sure.
But I was on this verge of like, Lord, you have been opening up doors for me time after time. I have to make sure that I am that person that you call me to be, and I am like all of who I can be. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I know I can do a better job. And I'm a forgiving person. But I was like, I know I can do a better job in the places to where, like, it was hard for me to forgive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm telling you, it was hard for me to pick up the phone and make that phone call and say, I forgive you. And if I didn't to bother you or whatever, I pray that you forgive me. But I don't want any more, like, friction or tension. Or I just want to, move forward with freedom. So from that. And then literally that next 2 days, bro, I had got information that I had confirmed the booking with Recored, and I had confirmed the booking with Bluff City Law. Next 2 days.
Wow, man.
So
then that episode came out, and it was the season finale, wasn't it?
It was the finale.
Yeah.
It was the most watched episode. It was the finale, yeah. And it was like, and I got like notes from when the showrunner saw it. He had let me know. He was like, "Oh my God, you did such great work." He put like in all caps, like, "You did great." It was something along the lines of, "You did some incredible work in this episode. You're so good," or something like that. And I almost dropped to the floor when I saw that because this guy has been in the industry so long and it's done so much stuff. So it was, yeah.
Man, that's awesome because when you think about it, you were literally being built up for that moment the entire season.
The whole season.
The whole season, like Jimmy coaching you. And I mean, first of all, to be coached by Jimmy Smith, the man is a legend. you know.
He, and he gives such great advice. I was like, Jimmy, this is my first time on network television. Like, I'm nervous as heck. And I was like, Jimmy, like, what do I do? And he just gave me advice. And it's just so, he got this swagger about him.
Oh
It's like,
yeah, he's so
you know
cool,
what I'm
man.
saying? Like, cool. So he just told me stuff. He was like, you just do this and do this and do this and do this. And don't worry about it. And then before I went out of his trailer to go to mine, because I had one by then, I had one on the last episode on my days out shooting. He was like, Princeton, you're humble. And I know it. And everybody does. But don't act like you don't deserve to be here. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. I didn't do no favors on this. I didn't do anything on this. You got this because you deserved it. So don't act like you don't supposed to be here because you earned it. And that was the last thing he said before I went out his trailer and went to do my stuff or whatever. So it was
God.
Yeah, it was a blessing.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So
Man, Jimmy is so sweet. Did you get a chance to meet him when he was here?
For a heartbeat, for a second.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I did.
Yeah.
We were at the Shelby County Courthouse.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Yep. Okay.
For a very second, he was like, "Hey," I was like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" And then he was talking to somebody. So that was pretty much it. But I was like, "Man, Bail Organa, man, like that's Princess Leia's adopted dad. Like that, man. Listen, like I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So, and then I'm a LA Law fan too. I'm telling my age now, but I used to watch LA Law as a kid. So
LA Law, joint, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think that's what Jimmy got his one of the bigger shows, you know what I'm saying, that he started out with LA Law.
Yeah.
And then NYPD Blue, he did Blue.
That's right.
And then you go on to West Wing and Dexter and Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, man. My brother swears by Son of Anarchy. When I told him that, I said, man, I met Jimmy Smith. He was like, what? Like, yeah, because he's a Son of Anarchy.
And he is so, like, I don't even know what category to put him in. He's just such a gem. He's just such a gem and a jewel.
Yes.
He loves him.
And one of the most versatile actors in the business. Like, clearly. Like, the man could go from motorcycle gang to a senator in a science fiction universe to an attorney that covers civil rights in the South. And, and I mean, it's just to one of the heads of state in the United States government. I mean, he could just bounce. He's so fluid in his resume and in his work. So with you, I think, and to be honest with you, I think you're basically the same way. I think you're very fluid in what you do. Like, you literally can adapt to any situation that you played in. Like, even in the episode of Bluff City Law, you played someone who was wrongfully convicted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I did.
And then turn around and do Court. You were in that. You played a very swagged, conservative, money making guy, conservative dress, very quiet in your demeanor, but powerful in your delivery kind of guy, in that. So yeah, that's pretty awesome, man. So because the thing is that I see also here is that there were must-haves that you carried to take you from level to level, as the Bible said, from glory to glory, from faith to faith. What were the must-haves that you would say you need to succeed in that industry to get you to those high spots?
You know what? As a believer, it's that integrity, man. It's really that integrity. I just think, like, nothing beats integrity. Like, nothing beats God-fearing and integrity.
Come on.
Because you know that there's certain doors that are not worth going in. You know what I mean? Like, for what I do to get through this door, it's not worth it. It's okay. And I know on the Red Table Talk one time, Jada was talking about it, and she was like, it's okay, because don't think you missed out on the opportunity. You don't have to take every opportunity, because something else will come along that fits for you. Wow. And I think, like, once we are certain on our own integrity, on who we are, what we want to do, and what we want to represent, I think that will get us closer to how we're going to pursue. And then, like, knowing that just because my neighbor is doing this, or my friend is booking, that's a win for them is not a loss for me. It's actually a win for both of us.
That's right.
Because if we got the right relationship, and if we're cool like that, whatever they learn on that set, they're going to bring it back over here. and teach us. But I think and that comes back to integrity, like having the integrity with your friends to be happy for them, having the integrity to do the work when no one is looking, having the integrity to understand if I want to be an actor, I would take it just as serious if I'm acting in a local play as I would if I was going on Broadway. And then the same thing in the film. I would take. I just did a independent film with Monique Coleman, and she was in High School Musical, and it was directed and written by Justin Harrison, his wife Ariel. But it was just such a great piece. It was an independent piece, and I had did that after I did NBC and after I did Uncourt, and I just still have to take it as serious because it
Right.
was just as amazing. It was just as amazing, and it was just. I just think the integrity of the craft is where some people lack because I've had friends so-called friends to do me wrong over or just speak negatively or just try to like to be a snake through navigating through productions and stuff like that. And it just doesn't get you anywhere. You're just always
Mm.
going to be in this circle. And even if it gets you there, it ain't going to keep you there.
That's
But
right.
integrity, I think, and I haven't gotten everywhere I want to go, but I think that if you operate in integrity at a level of it, and you succeed, and you go up and up and up, you can have peace with that success.
Come
You
on,
can
man.
celebrate with a great and good heart, knowing your conscience is clear about how you got where you got. But if you go through stepping on people and doing people wrong and not operating in character that you can do, it's like when you get there, you're gonna step on everybody. What good is it? You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So,
That's right.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
think it comes back to integrity, man. I think it does. I think
Wow.
that's one of how we get along so well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm a man of integrity. I stand on that. I would rather have 1-2 projects a year standing on integrity than to have my plate full every weekend on stuff that I just don't have any. I don't feel comfortable with doing. You know.
Right.
I would just rather do that. So, but yeah, man, and that's one, like I said, one of the things that comes up after you being a nice guy is that he stands on who he is. He's true to heart. He's true to form. That's what people always say when it comes to you.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. That
That
really
it
does. I don't
does.
think. I guess like I said, those whoopings. I guess they did work, huh? It
Now,
feel like
now you had, like I said, you have a lot of stuff going on. You're a writer, you're a producer, you sing, you write songs, you write plays and things like that. How can people find you? If people want to get coached by you or they want to check out your work, how can they find you, Princeton?
yeah. So they can find me at on Facebook it's Princeton James Productions, and on Instagram it's Princeton_James. That's my personal page, and on my business page on Instagram is Princeton James Productions. So you can find us on there. If you wanted to reach out, you can go to princetonjames.net, and then you can reach out on there. But yeah, we do productions, we do team building productions, we do private parties, yeah, we do all types of stuff. Films, like
Yeah.
I work with different
Now
stuff.
the latest thing that I don't know if it's the latest thing because you always have something in the chamber. That's one thing I noticed about you is that you always have something else. The last thing that I heard about was the dinner theater, the murder mystery
Yeah,
deal. That was, first of all, it's an ingenious idea.
thanks.
I've heard about it before. It's kind of got this. It's like basically an urban version of Agatha Christie kind of situation, a who done it kind of
Yeah,
situation. Can you tell us about that real quick?
yeah, man. So the murder mystery dinner theater is basically like a dinner theater and escape room has have a murder mystery have a baby, and that's when you get our soulful murder mystery dinner theater. And it's soulful because we have soulful music. It's great stories that reflect us. It's but when you walk in, you don't know who is in the play or who's not. So the guests walk in with you, and then when the play starts, you see all these outbursts happening. And you wonder like, who is this? I was just talking to her. She seemed fine. And then like that's when you figure out like these are the actors and actresses. Then out of nowhere, somebody got to die, so they die, and then you got to figure it. Then usually they come back as a ghost and they just roam the place, and the actors don't see them, they act like they don't, and then everybody else they do, and then everybody has a motive that they tell you why they would kill you, killed the person, and then they all, you can't trust anybody. And then you have to navigate the room and the spaces to put clues together, and you go from room to room, and you're on your team, and then y'all come back together and y'all decide on who y'all think did it. But then like you have live music in it, you have like a few like monologues and scenes that happen, and then like it's a lot of stuff around the walls that you have to put together in order to figure out like the clues and how to navigate from that. So yeah, it's a cool experience, man, and it's we've had a lot of great feedback and from people that have come to it. So yeah, we're going to be doing it again this fall. We were going to do it this summer, but we weren't able to do it, COVID and stuff. I just want to make it better.
Now, how are you adjusting with that? Like because we're, it's kind of an up and down kind of situation right about now. It's like we're on, we're off, we're on, we're off. But of course, productions have been like halted. I was just reading about how, with the MCU and Marvel and all that, how they had to literally push things back almost a year.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So how's that affecting what you guys are doing?
Oh man, it affected it heavily because most of the stuff that we do, we encounter 10 or more people. Even if it's a short film, we're gonna have a sound man, the actors and all that, and DP, whatever. But and then so it affected us heavily. Like we had to bring everything to a halt. But we're able to do a lot in development. So I'm able to like develop the work, write the script, do pre-production for a lot of stuff. So when it does come time for us to come back out, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Right.
Like, scripts will be ready, pre-production will be done. We'll be ready to hop on and just start rehearsing and have table reads and go forward. But we do have a lot of stuff in the chamber, man. I'm just so excited about like what's going to happen and how things are navigating and what we're going to do in the future when it comes to like murder mysteries and dinner theaters and other plays and some other experiences that we have, and then break it heavily into like film work and stuff like that. Even the way we structure the camp last year, we're going to do it a little bit different this year, and then we're going back to the old cycle last year. Yeah, I mean next year. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah. Man, I got to get you back on the show again, man. We got to.
Man, you already know.
We got to do this again, and then next time you come back, we can bring some of your actors that you've trained up and some of the people that kind of up and coming, because there's so many. There's like this renaissance going on in Memphis right now with art and creativity. It is amazing. It's a great time to be in the town right now. People like James Cook and Lily Land and Rakitha Morris and Tiandria Newsom Shears and I mean these incredible artists. They're just incredible people. So yeah, man, I got to get y'all all back and we do a round table or something in the studio or something.
Yes, man. We will.
Man, that's awesome.
In time when I guess everything is slowly opening back up now.
Yes.
So just give us a day of time that works for you, man, and we'll do it. I'm sure they'll be happy to.
Oh, yeah. I would love to talk to them. Thank you so much, Princeton, for joining me here and us here on Go Creator Go, man. It is amazing to talk to a blessed Christian creator that's really doing it, man. And I decree and declare God's favor on you, man, and now and in the future, on and on.
I appreciate that.
God bless you, bro. God bless you, bro. So in conclusion, when we really see the big picture, faith, hope, patience, and discipline are the right defining factors to having a successful, truly successful career in the entertainment industry or any industry. As believers, we should always be the light that God put in us to reflect the true light of the world, Jesus Christ, before other people. The best way to do that is by being the absolute best in whatever industry God has called you, by sharpening your skills and letting your God-given gifts shine bright. Why? Because when He places you on that grand stage of a fulfilled godly promise and people ask, how'd you get here? How'd you do it? You give Christ the glory, because through you, God can reach the hearts of others. The Bible says, let your light shine so that others may see your good work and praise your Father in heaven. Creatives, reach out to who God has placed in your field. People like Princeton, who can help you master your gift and let your light shine before men. Remember, as a creative, you have purpose, and God wants to make use of it to not only be a blessing for you, but to help move his kingdom forward through you. God bless y'all, and thank you for listening to another edition of Go Creator Go. Be blessed. Go Creator Go was created in Memphis, Tennessee at the Triumph Media Works Studios. For more information, check out triumphmediaworks.com and follow us on Facebook at Go Creator Go. Be blessed.